Yeah, let's go a little deeper here because I think some people think that being in the new covenant is great. They're thankful for grace, but you know what? I love God extra, so I'm going to voluntarily, I know I don't have to, but I'm going to voluntarily keep some of the old covenant because, frankly, I want to really, really obey him. Okay, can we go to Romans 7? Let's talk about that idea because I think a lot of people are like, hey, I'm with you. I love the grace of God. I'm in new covenant, but I also really like maybe adding some of the old just because it makes me feel like I'm really being obedient. Okay, that's just so we're all clear on this. Let's get on the same page. That's not an option. It's just as much of an option for me being married to Sarah and in covenant with her to say to her, and I've given this illustration in front of her a lot. So just so you know, this is a weird illustration. I get that, but I'm making a point. I love Sarah. She's my wife. I'm in covenant with her. Now, I love her 100%. We're in covenant. And I know that I'm in covenant with her, and I want to prove my love for her. So I'm going to voluntarily start dating the other women in her neighborhood. I know I don't have to, but I'm going to show my love for everyone. Now, what's that called, guys? A black eye, maybe? That's called cheating.
Adultery. Hmm.
That's called adultery. That's called cheating, right? Okay, now that's what we're talking about. Jesus started a new covenant. You can't be in two covenants. And this is exactly the argument he makes in Romans 7. So follow his argument very carefully. So in Romans 7 and verse number 1, he says, "Know ye not, brethren?" And then he says this so we know, because in Romans he's talking to Jews, then Gentiles, then Jews. He says, "For I speak to them that know the law." Now we're talking to Jews. How that the law, talking about the law of the old covenant, hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth. Okay, so he's getting that principle across. If you're under the dominion of the law has you. The only way out of being under the law is to die. Okay, verse 2. For the woman which hath a husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth. So this is the argument. Okay, so you're married to this guy, right? And then the woman commits adultery. So the man says, I don't want to be with you anymore, and I can put you away for adultery. And then the law kicks in. And guess what? That man can now leave the woman for committing adultery. He's free from her. Do you think she can remarry? Nope. She's stuck. In fact, it goes so far to say if she does remarry, she's committing adultery, and the person that marries her is committing adultery. She's stuck but for how long? She's stuck until forever or until the husband dies. Does everybody see that in the text? Here's Paul's point. You guys ready? This is so important. Israel was in a relationship covenantally with God, with Yahweh. He divorces them, Jeremiah 31, due to their adulterous nature. They're the harlot of the Old Testament. So he gives them a bill of divorcement. Now, guess what, guys? They can't marry again unless the husband dies. Problem for them, their ex-husband, if you want to say it that way, is God. And God doesn't die. Or does he? Do you see? Now look at verse 2. But if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband. Look at verse 3. So then if, while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress. But if her husband be dead, she is free from that law, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man. Paul, why are you bringing this up in Romans 7 when we're talking about God's promises to Israel? Here's why. Verse 4. Wherefore, my brethren, ye also are become dead to the law. How? By the body of Christ. The God died. Didn't see that coming. God died. And now they're free from the law because the husband's dead body says so. Verse 4, that ye should be married to another. Now they're free to remarry. And the Apostle Paul says, might I introduce you to the most eligible bachelor on the planet. His name is Jesus of Nazareth. He's risen from the dead, and you can enter into a covenant with him now. So even to him who raised him from the dead, that we should bring forth fruit unto God. This is the importance of understanding that you're in a relationship in a new covenant with the Lord, with this marriage unto him. The old covenant died when Christ died on the cross. You cannot go dig him up again. You are not showing Christ how much you love him by cheating on him with another covenant. It's not in addition to your love for him.